In B.
Lowe's showrooms have a variety of stylish flooring you'll love for years to come, like Stainmaster with lifetime stain resistance limited warranty. Order now. Get your flooring installed with help from Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility.
Hundreds of certified pre-owned Hondas are in stock and ready for immediate delivery. These are like new Hondas for a fraction of the cost. Save thousands with 0.99% financing. Search your local Honda dealer now.
Beaver Stadium, we just heard the loudest cheer of the night as Todd Blackledge, national championship winning quarterback here at Penn State, was introduced to the adoring throng. Down on the field, here's Molly with Tom Allen.
Coach, your defensive back, Tywan Mullen, just came out here without pads. What does your defense need to do without him?
Step up, mix man up. Got a lot of great corners in that room. The guys got to rise up. We tried to get him ready. We thought he could, and obviously couldn't go.
All right, thank you, Coach.
You're welcome. Take care.
That's unusual. We were not aware that he had an injury. They've battled some key injuries, particularly at the wide receiver position, which was an issue as they made the 800-mile trip over from Bloomington to State College. But Mullen, an All-American a year ago. We talked about this prolific passing attack for Penn State and the #1 receiver in the country in Jahan Dotson. That is a huge loss.
It's huge. I mean, they have 3 proven corners, but he's the best of the 3. And so now you take him out of the equation, and it messes up all their combinations, their nickel packages, their dime packages, and how they deal with Jahan Dotson becomes a bigger problem.
Penn State won the toss and deferred, so Indiana elected to receive the opening kickoff. And it's a touchback off the foot of Jordan Stout, who handles the place kicking off, and punting for the Nittany Lions. So here is Michael Penix Jr., redshirt junior from Tampa, Florida. Out of Tampa Bay Tech, 12-4 as the starting quarterback for Indiana, that has suffered a season-ending injury in each of the last 3 years, including a knee injury in the 6th game of the season a year ago when they went 6-2 and finished in the top 20 in the country. Penix with Stephen Carr, the running back, a transfer from USC. And Carr goes up the middle for about 4. Jesse Lucchetta, linebacker, will also see time at defensive end, made the stop for Penn State. Second down and 6. And we welcome our ABC audience. We're just underway here at Beaver Stadium in State College, PA. Indiana received the opening kickoff. It was a touchback. They've run one running play for 4 yards. Michael Penix trying to get it to the tight end, Peyton Hendershot. And it was broken up by Daquan Hardy, a redshirt freshman who Brent Pry, the defensive coordinator, singled out in our meeting yesterday. He has been excellent to this point in the year.
He is the starting nickelback or star, and the strength of this Penn State football team is their secondary, and he's a part of that. It is an outstanding group that challenges, throws all over the field.
Some believe it's the best secondary in the history of Penn State football. James Franklin says he does think it is the best he's had in his 8 years here. Penix's pass batted down at the line of scrimmage by Nick Tarburton.
And Tarburton just was on the inside. He normally lines up outside. He came inside on the rush, eyes on the quarterback, timed the jump, got the right hand up and got the deflection. And Penn State is a pressure team. They don't always play man zero coverage, but they like to bring pressure, and that time they got the good deflection by Tarburton.
James Evans, the punter. And Jahan Dotson, very dangerous return man. Evans is from New Zealand. Short kick takes a great bounce. And it'll stop dead at the 24-yard line. 47-yard punt. Here comes Sean Clifford. Has the Nittany Lions off to a 4-0 start. He's thrown 8 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. His completion percentage, 71.7, second of the Big Ten. Talia Tagovailoa of Maryland, the only one better in completion percentage. And off his best performance of his career last week in their win here against Villanova, when he threw for 401, a career high, and 4 touchdowns. He is the only quarterback in Penn State history to throw for more than 400 and 4 touchdowns in a game. Noah Cain, as they try to establish the run, gets belted down by Raheem Lane, but it's a 9-yard gain on the first play from scrimmage.
Well, it's good to see, if you're a Penn State fan, Noah Cain getting that first carry. He only had 1 carry a week ago. Weren't sure how much he'd play if he was 100% healthy. Great first run for him of 9 yards.
They spread the field now. Offensive coordinator is Mike Yursich in his first season here. And they've gone back to stretching the field in all directions, vertically and horizontally. They want to make the defense defend as much landscape as possible. Clifford couldn't find anybody, and it looked like he got just enough on the run for the first down. He was chased out by Weston Kramer, a transfer from Northern Illinois. And there's Mike Yursich. He's been a busy man in recent years, well traveled. Last year he was at Texas, the year before that at Ohio State, and he had a 6-year run prior to that at Oklahoma State. And Clifford's pass batted down, and Mike Yursich, certainly one of the highly regarded bright young minds on offense in college football right now.
Yeah, very happy to be here. He's a native of Cleveland, Ohio. His wife's from Youngstown. They're much closer to their family than they've been in the past. And yeah, interesting guy. He's got Pennsylvania roots too. You know, he was at Shippensburg.
And played collegiately at California of Pennsylvania. Noah Cain, the running back, on 2nd and 10. And he gets ripped down after a short gain by DeMarcus Elliott, part of that defensive front. Here's a look at tonight's Chick-fil-A impact players. And job one for that defense is stopping Jahan Dotson, and you can
we can take him off. He's no longer an impact player, and again, that puts more pressure on this secondary. Taiwan Mullen, an outstanding cover corner.
We're told he suffered a leg injury last week in their win at Western Kentucky, and tried to go tonight in the warm-up, and they decided he could not. That's a big blow. Clifford zings one, trying to get it to Dotson. Incomplete with Jalen Williams in coverage. Now, he's another excellent cover man. He was 2nd team All Big Ten last season.
He was in good position. There was a little bit of pressure from Micah McFadden, and Clifford a little not accurate on that throw.
And Jordan Stout will come on to punt. He's having an excellent year, averaging 49.2 per punt. Got a 7th in the country. Indiana got close on the rush. And it's a good kick. Reese Davis might have had a better chance of returning that one. Reese Taylor could not. Great kick out of bounds at the 14. So for those of you who weren't with us for the start of our telecast on ESPN News, we welcome you to Beaver Stadium. As always, a great scene here. They have the stripe out tonight. They didn't have all these outs, white outs and stripe outs when you played here, but has to make you feel proud as an alum to come back here and see this kind of atmosphere.
It's so fun. It's so great to see Penn State playing well, being one of the top teams in the country, and to see the fan base energized. I mean, it's always fun to come back, particularly to come and do a game.
Indiana went 3 and out on its first possession. Michael Penix out of the gun, handed it off to Stephen Carr, who goes nowhere. P.J. Mustipher leading the defensive front on that play. Here are the numbers we referenced while we were on ESPN News. Michael Penix Jr. against the tough teams that they've played so far at Iowa to start the year, and then a home game in week 3 against Cincinnati, has really scuffled. He fared very well in their wins against Idaho, and last week at Western Kentucky threw for 373 against the Hilltoppers last week, 2nd biggest game of his career. And Hendershot couldn't catch that one. They'll probably lean more heavily on the tight end tonight with some injuries to their wide receiver group, including G.J. Matthews, the transfer from Florida State, who's out for the year now with a knee injury, and he would have been a big part of their passing game.
Well, the two guys he trusts the most are Ty Freifogel, number 3, a wide receiver, and Peyton Hendershot, who wasn't able to make that catch on second down.
3rd down and 10.
Penn State showing pressure. Change of the play. Nick Sheridan, the offensive coordinator, changing the play at the line of scrimmage for Michael Penix.
Everybody up except one defensive lineman. Penix throws and it is caught. Hendershot hangs on this time and is out almost to midfield. They dragged him down at the 49-yard line. First down of the game for Indiana on a 36-yard play.
Yeah, Ellis Brooks, the linebacker, got caught out of position. He was the guy in coverage. Number 13 got a little lost. Hendershot ran by him, and Michael Penix found the open man. There was pressure, but it wasn't man coverage.
Hendershot off a big performance last week in Bowling Green, Kentucky. He caught 7 for 100 yards. His first 100-yard game of his career. Short set by Penix, and he dumps it off incomplete, trying to throw it to Miles Marshall, who will likely be more of a target in the absence of Matthews going forward.
You know, going back to Michael Penix right now, I mean, he's been on a heck of a journey. We already mentioned 3 times his season ended with injuries. He starts this year against Iowa, who we've seen is a great team, particularly defensively. He was not confident in his knee. He did not play well. He played much better in the loss to Cincinnati, but he made a couple bad decisions. This is the best he's been right now mentally, I think, all season.
They fake the run, and he throws incomplete. Trying to get it to Ty Freifogel, their best receiver. Tariq Castro-Fields, who Nick Sheridan, the offensive coordinator for Indiana, says, I feel like he's been at Penn State forever. Had the coverage.
Again, the secondary. Castro-Fields and Joey Porter on the corners. They're big, they're long, they're physical. And Jaquan Brisker and Jair Brown, the safeties, 2 of the best in college football.
3rd down and 10 from just shy of midfield.
Again, Freifogel is the feature receiver in this offense. They targeted him 17 times last week against Western Kentucky.
Deep drop by Penix and a deep throw. Single coverage, and it's way out of bounds. No chance for Javon Swinton to catch it with Joey Porter in coverage.
Take a look at these 4 guys. I mean, they all are playmakers. That's the thing. They all are capable of making plays. Jaquan Brisker is a safety, but some think he might be the best one-on-one cover guy of any of their defensive backs. So they're very versatile in their ability to cover in man, play zone, rush the passer. Very talented group.
Jahan Dotson told us he believes one of the reasons he's become perhaps the best wide receiver in the country is practicing against that group on a regular basis. The punt by James Evans goes into the end zone. No score, we're just underway. Indiana and Penn State on a gorgeous Saturday night in Happy Valley.
It's all coming together this fall with the DQ Fall Blizzard menu, of course. 7 seasonal sensations like new pecan pie, pumpkin pie, and more. A lineup piled so high with fall flavors, you might just want to jump in. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
Lowe's showrooms have a variety of stylish flooring you'll love for years to come, like Stainmaster with lifetime stain resistance limited warranty. Order now. Get your flooring installed with help from Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility.
Here's a look at tonight's running back spotlight brought to you by Arby's. And the spotlight has not been kind to the running game for Penn State so far this year.
Yeah, that's the thing that needs to be fixed for them. And there's blame to go around everywhere in the problem so far.
There's John Lovett. And right on cue, he's dropped for a 1-yard loss by Ryder Anderson, the transfer from Ole Miss. Indiana did very well in the transfer portal, including with Anderson, who's been a starting defensive end for the Hoosiers.
And that play was the 33rd tackle for loss that Penn State has given up in the 4 games. So right there you see, is that a bad decision by the running back to bounce it, or was it bad blocking up front? There's been a little bit of everything so far in the first 4 games, and that's why their numbers have not been very good.
Clifford dumps it short for Lovett. The Baylor transfer upended by Monster Matthews. First name Devon, but everybody calls him Monster, nickname given to him by his mother when he was a youth football player. Had a big hit on an opposing player, knocked the kid's helmet off. His mom's been calling him Monster ever since.
He's a good player. You know, they just got him back healthy last week. He injured his ankle in the 10th play of the Iowa game, so he missed the Cincinnati game. And then their best player, Micah McFadden, was ejected in the first half of that Cincinnati game, too. So they missed 2 of their best players in that loss to the Bearcats.
And the ejection of McFadden in that game for targeting against Cincinnati really turned that game around. Clifford, under duress, managed to escape, and now he's off to the races with a first down and more. Chopped down as he crossed the 35-yard line.
Well, this is why you have to be disciplined when you rush him, because McFadden is going to get into the backfield. But he's out of control, and Sean Clifford does what he does well. He ran for over 100 yards last year.
Ran for 13 there. He fired a bullet to Jahan Dotson, who has 11 more. And another Penn State first down. Marcelino McCrary ball there to take down Dotson, and they'll go very quickly after the 11-yard play.
That's what they like to do. They go hurry up after...
DeAndre Lambert-Smith gets 8, and they're into Hoosier territory to the 45-yard line.
See, what they do is they want to go fast after a key play, and then they put 3 receivers into the boundary, and if you get single coverage out here, they'll throw it. If you cover everybody, they're going to run the football. So that's just Sean Clifford with kind of a funky formation. You don't normally see 3 receivers into the boundary like that.
And Jones ripped the helmet off of Lambert-Smith. 2nd down and 2, 8.5 to go, opening quarter, no score. Noah Kane, running room outside, and another first down. Lovett outside for the first down. Monster Matthews made the tackle at the 36.
I think Lovett gives them that wiggle. I think he's got a little bit more make you miss, plant the foot, cut. Noah Kane's more of a downhill runner, going to run through tackles, but I think Lovett gives them a little bit more of a wrinkle at the running back position.
Clifford under pressure again, throws, and it is Parker Washington. He could not make the catch along the near sideline.
Incomplete pass, but this is what a running back has to be able to do, too. You don't just run the football or catch it out of the backfield. You better pick up a blitz, too. Nice job giving Sean Clifford an opportunity to make the throw.
Nice play by Jalen Williams to break it up. Lovett, the running back. He goes in motion on 2nd and 10. Quarterback draw for Clifford. And he's chopped down at the 31-yard line. Clifford, a gritty competitor out of a powerhouse, St. Xavier in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Well, like I mentioned, last year in the game against Indiana, a game in which Penn State dominated offensively, he ran for 119 yards. He was the leading rusher in the ball game. Some of it called plays, a lot of it just improvising.
He's rushed for more than 800 yards in his career, 3rd all-time among Penn State quarterbacks. Shocked not to find you on that list. Trace McSorley and Michael Robinson ahead of him, and well ahead of them, both with more than 1,600 rushing yards. Love it. Nice play by Micah McFadden. One of the best linebackers in the country. 3rd-team All-American a year ago and 1st-team All-Big Ten.
He runs so well. He takes a good angle. He makes plays sideline to sideline. He's an excellent blitzer. Tom Allen's been on him and has seen him since he was a freshman and sophomore in high school down in Tampa. So he knew all about him, and he has just blossomed into a great player.
Tom Allen was on the staff at South Florida in Tampa. And McFadden was a high school teammate at Plant High School of Coach Allen's son, Thomas. So the coach saw McFadden play quite a bit in high school and practice quite a bit. They convert on 4th and 7. It's Parker Washington with a yard or two to spare for the first down.
That's a hard throw. The left hash all the way to the right sideline. Here they go fast again with trips into the boundary. Again, see if they get single coverage with Dotson on the other side.
Again, after the big play, they go quickly. And Clifford throws it away. He's had trouble finding receivers. You have to give this defense credit. Even without Tywan Mullen tonight, they're doing a good job of coverage.
Well, what they tried to do right there, as you take a look at the new defensive coordinator, Charlton Warren, that Tom Allen brought on this year, when they give you those trips, they like to throw smoke screens or little wide receiver screens. That's trying to fake the screen, tried to get a big play, but Warren's defense was in right position. 12th
play of the possession. 2nd and 10 at the Indiana 24. Clifford given a pocket, and the intended receiver goes down. Jalen Williams got tangled up with Theo Johnson. One of 3 tight ends they play with regularity, all of them very talented. Rod Snodgrass is the referee leading the Big Ten crew tonight.
Pass interference. Defense.
Now, Theo Johnson is impressive now. When you see him down on the field, he's big, 6'6", 260 pounds, can really run. That time he's one-on-one with one of their best corners, and he won the battle.
He's from Ottawa, Ontario. Windsor, Ontario, rather. He's one of 6 Canadians on this Penn State team. Jesse Luketa is from Ottawa. They've done very well recruiting north of the border, although Luketa came down to the States to play at Mercyhurst Prep in Erie, PA. Noah Kane on 1st and goal, dropped for a loss by DeMarcus Elliott.
Yeah, really nice play by Elliott. He got into the backfield quickly, took a good angle down the line of scrimmage, and stuffed that play.
Out of the gun, they shift Noah Kane back to the backfield. With that tight bench to the right of Sean Clifford. Crowd so quiet when Penn State's about to snap the ball. Clifford has running room, decides to throw it. Good decision. It's a touchdown to Brenton Strange. Nifty drive, 80 yards in 13 plays. Strange, the touchdown catch, is 2nd of the season. Redshirt freshman out of Parkersburg, West Virginia.
I'm not saying that Micah McFadden would have made a better play, but he was on the sideline right now on this critical play. This is Aaron Casey, number 46, and he kind of gets caught in no man's land. Do I come after the quarterback? Do I stay back? He hesitated. Sean Clifford made him pay for the indecision. Penn State has a touchdown.
Lowe's showrooms have a variety of stylish flooring you'll love for years to come. Like Pergo Wet Protect and Stain Master, exclusively at Lowe's. Your life might change, but your flooring can last a lifetime. Order now. Get your flooring installed with help from Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility.
Is Viviro produced with slave labor?
When Yara becomes paradise, my methods, no one will care.
A revolution is not won by the fearless.
It's won by the feared.
But I promise you one thing. I will be feared.
Pre-order now, or else. Rated M for mature.
Play it on the all-new Xbox.
On ABC is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Well, last year, these two teams met in the season opener. Controversial finish. Michael Penix in overtime, going for two and the win. And it was ruled that he got to the pylon before touching out of bounds. Indiana prevailed 36-35, ending a streak of 41 losses in a row against an AP top 10 ranked team. We asked Tom Allen about the call. They took a long time to review it. He said, I think it was because of the call on the field. He said if Penix had been ruled down short of the pylon, that probably would have stood too, which is so hard to tell. Jordan Stout's kickoff is another touchback, and we checked in with Kevin Nagandi. They've had a very tough time in that rivalry over the years. Stephen Carr, the running back, he has running room on first down, and he weaves his way through the middle for about 6, tackled by Ellis Brooks, the junior from Mechanicsville, Virginia.
Stephen Carr has been a good pickup for them. He kind of fits what they want to do offensively. He's a tough runner. The challenge that they're offering to him now is we'd like to see you try to make some more guys miss in the second level. You've shown us you can run tough. We need to get some bigger plays out of you when you carry the football.
Davion Irvin Poindexter, the running back now. He had nowhere to go. Did well to get back to the line of scrimmage. P.J. Mustipher at the bottom of the pile for the Nittany Lions.
Indiana, there's Brent Pry, defensive coordinator, has done a great job for James Franklin. Fun guy to talk to, and again, he's a pressure guy. His roots go back to Bud Foster at Virginia Tech, who is always a pressure guy. Third downs when they really like to try to heat it up.
Michael Penix Jr., the quarterback. Indiana with just one first down to this point, trying to convert on 3rd down and 3. They do bring pressure, and he got away from it. That throw's incomplete. Brandon Smith, the blitzing linebacker, went by Penix, and Michael couldn't complete it to Ty Freifogel.
Yeah, really good blitz by Brandon Smith. He's going to come up the field, and then inside he has a clear path to the quarterback. And even though he doesn't get the sack, he definitely affects Michael Penix, and Penix makes a bad throw, and they're going to have to punt again. But there's that pressure getting after Michael Penix, trying to make the quarterback uncomfortable, and they succeeded on that one.
Another punt for the New Zealander, James Evans. Good kick this time, high, and a fair catch made by Jahan Dotson back at the 20-yard line. 48-yard punt. 3:57 to go in the opening quarter. 7-0 Penn State.
My name is Giancarlo Esposito, and I'm preparing to bring you my most monstrous villain yet, Anton Castillo in Far Cry 6. Do you know what you're getting into? Taking on Anton? Fighting on the side of the guerrillas? While I've confronted some formidable foes in my time, I now face someone entirely new. You. Pre-order now, or else. Rated M for mature.
Play it on the all-new Xbox.
Lowe's showrooms have a variety of stylish flooring you'll love for years to come. Like Pergo Wet Protect and Stain Master, exclusively at Lowe's. Your life might change, but your flooring can last a lifetime. Order now. Get your flooring installed with help from Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility.
Fans, don't forget to check out the Great Clips Command Center broadcast of this game. It's streaming right now on ESPN3 and the ESPN app. and the view from the AT&T 5G Skycam. There's a lot going on in that command center. If you like information, that's a good place to be. We'll try not to provide any, so we'll provide a contrast. Slant for Parker Washington, and it's dropped. Here's Molly McGrath.
Well, Sean, before the game, James Franklin told me he didn't even know if running back Noah Cain would be able to play tonight. He wanted to watch him in warm-ups and see how he looked and how he moved. And we went to practice on Friday. Cain was used in a limited capacity. They went to John Lovett more, and Franklin told me he's going to stick with whoever has a hot hand early.
Kevon Lee in there now, and it's intercepted. Raheem Lane, the safety, picks off Clifford and runs it back inside the 15-yard line.
Beautiful play by the safety, reading the eyes of the quarterback. It's zone coverage. Watch what Raheem Lane does. Here he is right here. He's going to kind of drift over here and then just look at the quarterback, Sean Clifford. He gets in position. He's reading the quarterback. Then he breaks on the football on the crossing route. Can't do it any better if you're the free safety. And Raheem Lane gets a big play for the Hoosier defense. This is a defense, Sean. Last year, they led the Big Ten with 17 interceptions. That was only their second interception of the season so far this year.
They were second in the country last year with those 17 picks. Only Georgia Southern had more with 18. But a big play by the senior, Raheem Lane, is their leading tackler for this season, former cornerback who's moved to safety. Let's see if that will spark this offense for Indiana that has just 46 yards so far. Stephen Carr taken down for a loss.
Got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of Trey Freifogel. I mean, he's their feature guy. 0 catches so far. Nice job by the penetration by the Penn State defensive line there, stopping that play for no gain. But Freifogel is a guy they've got to get their hands, got to get him the football. Here he is right here in the slot, working on that nickel back, Daquan Hardy.
Penix throws incomplete, trying to get it to Peyton Hendershot.
Michael Penix is now 1 for 9 throwing the football, and you know, obviously he's not in rhythm. He's a streaky quarterback anyway. He's one of those guys when he gets hot, he really can get going throwing the football. Brent Pry said our job is to not let him get hot because there are A+ plays on the reel this year, but just not as many as they were the last couple years. Have to capitalize on that big turnover by your defense there.
On 3rd down and 10, Penix takes off running. Penix goes down, and it looked like he started that slide well short of the line to gain, so he won't get the first down.
Great decision, though. You know, he doesn't run a lot, obviously coming off the ACL injury, but that was a heck of a decision to get as much as he could, get him real close to that first down.
And they're going to go for this 4th down. 4th and about 1.5 yards to go. And
I think they're going to take a look at this. You know, here's the thing. He didn't slide feet first. He went head first. So it's where the ball went down. I mean, it was not a normal feet first slide. Was his knee down wherever the ball is at? It looks short from there, but I think it's going to be closer than 2 yards.
So they're looking at where the ball was when the knee went down by Penix. Maybe he got a bit more than he was given by the officials on the field. We are quite familiar with this officiating and replay crew. This is our 5th telecast this season. It is the 3rd time that we've had the on-field crew led by Ron Snodgrass and Rick Nelson and Mike Conlon in the replay booth. Let's bring in our official, Matt Austin. You see anything there that looked strange to you, Matt?
Well, not really. Thanks, Todd. Sean, here's the thing. if they're looking at they can only challenge the spot or look at the spot in relationship to the first down. So if it's not a first down, they're going to leave the ball exactly where it already is. They can't move it forward, so it's a shorter fourth and whatever.
That's good to know.
The field is confirmed. It's fourth down.
Let's see if Tom Allen is going to still go for it. He had the offense on the field, ready to go for it before the replay stoppage. This set up by Raheem Lane's first career interception in his 42nd career game. You like the decision here to go for it?
I do. I think Tom Allen is figuring we're not going to beat Penn State here with field goals. We've got a great opportunity to score a touchdown with a short field. Let's see if we can get this first down, put one in the end zone, and even if we don't, trust that our defense can keep them pinned down here a little bit.
So it's about 1.5 yards.
I think you run the quarterback, though. You lead block with the tailback and run the quarterback. Pick up an extra blocker.
Stephen Carr's the running back. Miles Marshall went in motion. Carr straight ahead, and that'll be close. Arnold Ebiketie, the defensive end, looks like he stopped him short. Ebiketie, a transfer from Temple, having an outstanding first season here for Penn State.
Yeah, more known as a pass rusher. He's a natural pass rusher that time. An excellent play coming down the line against the run.
Well, that yellow line is usually right on, and unless there's an issue there, they are short, and Penn State will take over on downs. Ebiketie joined them after 4 years at Temple. He's the third leading tackler this season for Penn State. Well, some woofing away from the measurement. Hendershot had to be separated. And they take over on downs. It's Curtis Jacobs who was in the conversation with Hendershot. So Tom Allen wanted to go for it, but they cannot capitalize on the takeaway.
James Franklin told us our defense has been kind of a bend but don't break, but we've come up with timely stops, timely plays in the red zone, timely takeaways. That was a very timely stop after the short field, the turnover on 4th down and goal.
It's an Indiana offense that just cannot do anything here in the first quarter. Still one first down. Clifford comes out slinging it to Jahan Dotson, who got yanked down and lost his helmet. After an 8-yard gain, Reese Taylor made the tackle.
Easy throw there with off coverage. You know, an outside throw from your own end zone is the safest throw you can make as a quarterback. Mike Yurcich obviously having confidence in his quarterback, Sean Clifford, to make a good decision. But that off coverage by the corner, Reese Taylor, that's pitch and catch for Clifford and Dotson.
Kevon Lee shifted back into the backfield. Straight ahead through a hole. Kevon Lee trying to break free. They'll take him down across the 50. Reese Taylor prevented the touchdown, but it's a long run into Indiana territory to the 44-yard line.
Great blocks by Eric Wilson, the left guard, and the tight end Brenton Strange. Little counter play. A kick out and a lead through, and one of the best running plays Penn State has had, not only tonight, but all season, provided by Kevon Lee.
44-yard run. Lee stays in the game.
Lee is the running back who's most similar to Noah Cain. Physical, straight ahead, break tackles. Lovett and Ford are kind of the change-up guys.
Play clock was running out, so the sideline hollered for a timeout. Lee showed excellent speed. There's 239 pounds. And straight ahead, James Franklin told us one of the problems he thinks in the running game is the younger backs in particular are bouncing too much and not taking what he called the ugly 4 or 5 yard gains.
Yeah, Noah Cain is the more mature guy. He's going to get the tough yardage, but that was good execution at the point of attack, good blocking, play side and backside, and a back running north and south, and a big play. And that's what you want to see. And the problems that Penn State has had in their running game, it's spread around. I mean, in some cases, it's been the offensive line. Maybe 1 out of the 5 guys a little out of sync, and the play goes awry. Last week, really, more than anything, it was the tight ends did not block particularly well in the game. And then sometimes it's the back, bouncing it out when you should just fight in like we were just talking about. So it's about being in rhythm and being a cohesive unit and everybody doing that together.
Lee wound up with a 44-yard gain, longest run of the season for Penn State. Lee was their leading rusher last year. Here he comes again running left, and a nice tackle by Micah McFadden. Lee became the featured running back last year because Noah Cain got injured in the opening game against Indiana. He suffered a foot injury and missed the remainder of the season. And it seems to be a foot injury again that is limiting his play right now.
Now 2 backs in the backfield. The first time we've seen Devin Ford in the game. So they got a power back and a shifty back in the backfield with Clifford.
Down to a half minute remaining in the first quarter. Penn State leading 7-0. Lee down the far sideline and very close to another first down. He has it. Bryant Fitzgerald knocked him across the boundary.
Really good decision by Sean Clifford. They were looking downfield for a deeper route. He had flare routes by both of his backs to each side. He didn't force the ball downfield, and he just took the little dump off to the back. And I think that's what's been impressive about Sean Clifford this year. He's not forcing the game. That's why he's completing over 70% of his passes, because he's just taking what the defense is giving him, and it still is giving them opportunities for big plays.
On their touchdown drive, he completed 5 passes to 5 different receivers. It's the end of the first quarter. Penn State leading Indiana 7-0 in ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC. We'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
My name is Giancarlo Esposito, and I'm preparing to bring you my most monstrous villain yet, Anton Castillo in Far Cry 6. Do you know what you're getting into? Taking on Anton? Fighting on the side of the guerrillas? While I've confronted some formidable foes in my time, I now face someone entirely new. You. Pre-order now, or else. Rated M for mature.
Play it on the all-new Xbox.
It's all coming together this fall with the DQ Fall Blizzard menu, of course. 7 seasonal sensations like new pecan pie, pumpkin pie, and more. A lineup piled so high with fall flavors, you might just want to jump in. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
By Goodyear, with you for every mile on the road to greatness. Goodyear, more driven. Your blimp overhead, gorgeous night here in Happy Valley. 63 degrees, very light breeze. Here comes a blitz. Sean Clifford rolls away from it, throws it away, and Cam Jones chasing him from behind. 7-0 Penn State. They had a decided edge in play in that first quarter. Outgained Indiana 139-55. Had 8 first downs, only 1 for the Hoosiers. Clifford now 7 out of 14 passing for 58 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Devin Ford on the screen. Devin Ford, some nifty footwork, and he gets very close to the first down with a 9-yard pickup.
Nice design by that play. They faked the little dive to Ford, and Sean Clifford was rolling out the other way. It was a throwback screen. Tom Allen was wanting a penalty on Mike Miranda, or Juice Scruggs, the guard leading that play. Didn't get the call. It's 3rd and very short now for Penn State.
3rd and 1. Kevon Lee, the running back. And Lee, first down. Still on his feet. Inside the 10 and finally knocked out of bounds inside the 5-yard line.
Well, this is what Penn State fans have been wanting to see. Power running to the left side. Eric Wilson, the left guard. Rasheed Walker, the left tackle. Just paving the way, and the big bruising back Lee with another big-time run for the Nittany Lions.
21 yards.
Already more rushing yards now than they had against Auburn, than they had against Wisconsin, than they had against Villanova for the entire game. They're sitting at 102 yards rushing right now, and we just started the second quarter.
Your timeout, Indiana. Tom Allen with his defense on its heels. Penn State, after the stop on 4th down, when Indiana went for it on 4th down about a yard and a half, is marching right down the field, and it's a sigh of relief, you would think, for Nittany Lion fans, because the running game, as we talked a little bit about tonight, has been really poor prior to tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to win the Big Ten championship, you want to get in the college football playoff, play for a national championship, you can't be one-dimensional, right? You have to have balance. You have to make a defense play you honest, and they've got some really good defenses down the road on their schedule. So this is a very promising first half so far for Penn State, because Sean Clifford's doing what he's doing. He's not forcing any throws. They haven't got the big explosive pass plays, but they've had a couple explosive run plays, and that's been huge here in the first half.
First and goal from the 4. Jahan Dotson could not break free from the tackle. Reese Taylor saved a touchdown. Mike Yersuch said we try to use Jahan Dotson in a variety of ways. He's another player who came back for another season. Yeah. Just had a bad taste in his mouth with the way last year went. And everybody we talked to in the Penn State program yesterday said this is a much more cohesive together team than it was last year when they went 4-5. Started the year 0-5. Clifford, little shovel pass for a touchdown. Flipped it ahead to Brenton Strange, who has scored both touchdowns tonight. There is a flag down back just outside the 5-yard line by the far numbers.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 86 was covered up. Caught the pass. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down, second down.
86 is Brenton Strange. This is him right here. Now, he's the guy who's going to come over and get the pass. So the reason he would be covered up is not his fault as much as it is the receivers outside of him to make him ineligible. Man, it looked like he was off the ball.
I don't. Is illegal touching. Loss of down at the previous spot. Third down.
So if he was off the ball, he would be okay if this guy's on the line of scrimmage. But if that guy is off the line, if the tight end's on the line of scrimmage, then that receiver has to be off the line. And they just got mixed up there, right?
And now let's hope that it's third down. For those who watched the Penn State-Auburn game on ABC, remember that there was some confusion. Situation mismanaged on the field by an SEC officiating crew, and Penn State actually punted on what was third down, even though they were told it was fourth down.
Well, now they're saying it's second down, so they are making the change.
Well, it was first and goal. They ran the play to Dotson on first down. That play was second down, and he said it was a loss of down.
Yeah,
so should this be third down?
Loss of down.
We'll talk to Matt Austin about this in a moment. Second and goal. From just outside the 7, Clifford throws, and a terrific catch made by Dotson in the back of the end zone for a Penn State touchdown.
I mean, this is just a beautiful throw and catch by two guys that believe in each other. You throw this where only Jahan Dotson can make a play. I mean, that's pretty good coverage by Raheem Lane. But you throw this ball where either my guy gets it or it goes out of bounds. He makes the catch, he gets the foot down, and you see the chemistry of Sean Clifford and Jahan Dotson for the touchdown.
And the extra point good by Jordan Stout. That is the 17th time Clifford and Dotson have connected for a touchdown pass in their Penn State careers, and that ties the Penn State mark for most touchdowns quarterback to wide receiver in Penn State history. And I hate to say this, Todd, but I think they're going to obliterate your record, which
I think so. I
had
think they
with
will.
Kenny Jackson.
Kenny was an outstanding player, a speed receiver, was a first-round draft pick of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Did you know that you had that mark?
No, I didn't know that until I read the game notes this week.
When we asked Jahan Dotson about it yesterday, he didn't know either that he needed one touchdown.
Product not yet rated.
It's all coming together this fall with the DQ Fall Blizzard menu, of course. 7 seasonal sensations like new pecan pie, pumpkin pie, and more. A lineup piled so high with fall flavors, you might just want to jump in. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
Dotson, the highest rated wide receiver by Mel Kiper in the country, the number 8 overall prospect. It was Freifogel who was the Big Ten receiver of the year last year. First Indiana player ever to win that honor. Penix forced to retreat. His receiver was on the ground. Peyton Hendershot.
Michael Penix just does not look comfortable at all. He's 1 for 10. He threw that one kind of backpedaling off his back foot. Again, he's not always the most orthodox looking guy in terms of fluid and step and footwork, but he looks very uncomfortable right now and unsure of himself when he's throwing the football.
Freifogel has been targeted 3 times, does not have a catch. He had only 1 catch in their loss to Cincinnati. Penix has to check it down to Carr, who's in trouble, and tackled to the line of scrimmage. Nice play by Joey Porter, and the somersault to celebrate.
Well, we talked about this secondary, how good they are in challenging routes and coverage. That's coming up and making a tackle in open field. Joey Porter, good leverage, gets the ankles, knocks him down short of the first down. Of course, his dad was a pretty good tackler too, right?
Indeed. James Evans punt again. He never kicked in a football game until he got to America. We mentioned he's from New Zealand. But in January 2020, he went to Australia to learn in that pro kick academy that has sent so many punters over to this country. Then he showed up in Bloomington. Started playing in games. 37-yard punt, fair catch by Dotson. His touchdown made it 14-0.
My name is Giancarlo Esposito, and I'm preparing to bring you my most monstrous villain yet, Anton Castillo in Far Cry 6. Do you know what you're getting into? Taking on Anton? Fighting on the side of the guerrillas? While I've confronted some formidable foes in my time, I now face someone entirely new. You. Pre-order now, or else. Rated M for mature.
Play it on the all-new Xbox.
Hundreds of certified pre-owned Hondas are in stock and ready for immediate delivery. These are like new Hondas for a fraction of the cost. Save thousands with 0.99% financing. Search your local Honda dealer now.
It's time for the trivia question. You do that so well, even though you're heartbroken that your record was just tied. We are going to talk about another record. Who is the Big Ten career receptions leader? Most catches in the history of the Big Ten Conference. John Lovett, the intended receiver. Clifford's pass incomplete. All right, go ahead. What do you got?
Taylor Stubblefield, who's the wide receiver coach for Penn State now, right? Purdue.
Yep. 325 back from 2001 through 2004. That's a lot of catches.
It is. It is. And he's got some dudes to work with in this receiving crew. Dotson's the leader, but Parker Washington, very good young receiver.
On 2nd and 10, wide open receiver is Lovett. And he gets banged out of bounds by Cam Jones. Hard-hitting linebacker, senior from Memphis, Tennessee.
Cam Jones and McFadden are really the heart and soul of this team and this defense. They're veteran guys. They're physical. They're good tacklers. They're just kind of on their heels, their whole defense right now, because Penn State has mustered a better running game in the first half of this game than they have all season.
103 yards rushing so far for the Nittany Lions. Clifford is taken down for a loss. Micah McFadden there again. He had 6 sacks last year to lead the Big Ten from his linebacker position.
Well, here he is right here. Now, he's supposed to be blocked. This is a design quarterback draw where the lead back is the blocker, and McFadden just destroyed Kayvon Lee. He just ran right through him and tackled Sean Clifford. But Micah McFadden is an outstanding football player.
Coming off a career-high 12 tackles last week in their win at Western Kentucky. Jordan Stout to punt. And a fair catch made by Reese Taylor near the 10-yard line. 50-yard punt. Coming up next, Taste of the Town with our main man, Todd Blackledge.
Product not yet rated.
Lowe's showrooms have a variety of stylish flooring you'll love for years to come. Like Pergo Wet Protect and Stain Master, exclusively at Lowe's. Your life might change, but your flooring can last a lifetime. Order now. Get your flooring installed with help from Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility.
Our broadcast crew, the K Crew, is like one big family. It's a family I've been honored to be a part of for 16 years. And when some of those family members who also work annually on the Little League World Series told me about this great restaurant in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, I decided to take a look. This is a basil pesto pasta with pine nuts and grilled chicken recommended to me by Jill Poole, who works in our graphics truck. And this is wild boar bolognese, which is one of the favorite dishes of my true food soulmate on the K Crew, cameraman Shane Marshall. Taste of the Town, welcome to Williamsport.
Well, a big part, I thought, of Taste of the Town was that you brought back food from the restaurant, and I don't see anything even remotely close to the booth that resembles that good-looking food that you had there.
There were no leftovers that night. I mean, usually I would bring you some if we didn't finish it all, because I actually had 4 entrees and 2 appetizers that night, and there was nothing left. And what a great restaurant. And Shane was sitting there eating every bit as much as I did. But what a great place. Maria and Fred, brother and sister that run the place. It's been owned by the Daniele family since 1984, and they really go out of their way to treat ESPN people great. And boy, the food was amazing.
Michael Penix on tackle.
I didn't answer your question, though, right?
No, I'm still looking for the food. That was Ty Freifogel who made the catch. We should mention that Jack Tuttle, the backup quarterback, was warming up, but Penix is still in the game. Now, this is typical of you. I know the crew recommended this place.
Yeah.
They eat there a lot when they're at the Little League World Series, but you're an icon here in State College.
Yeah.
You just didn't want to offend all the other restaurant owners by picking one place in particular.
It was a win-win for me, okay? Because I was concerned about that, but at the same time, this place, I love this crew, and they raved about it, and it was worth it. It was worth the drive.
17-hour drive round trip to go there.
So you were invited to go, and you didn't want to go.
I didn't have 10 hours to take away from preparation. Ty Freifogel made the catch and got the first down. Had I known, however, that I was not going to sample any of that food from Franco's Lounge, I probably would have made the trip. Molly didn't go either.
No,
she was kind of hoping for some sort of goodie bag.
I enjoyed a socially distanced dinner with you, Sean.
Yes, we did. Right here in downtown. A lot of people asking where Todd was. Stephen Carr dropped for a loss by P.J. Mustipher.
P.J. Mustipher has played at a pretty high level this year. He's a veteran guy. He's played a lot, but watch him right in here. Number 97, veteran guy, gets right through the center guard gap for a tackle for loss. I mean, this is by far the best he's played this season through the first 4.5 games of his career, and been a real force on the inside.
Brother Sam had a terrific career at Notre Dame as an offensive lineman. Sam Mustipher in the NFL with the Chicago Bears. 2nd and 15, nearly midway through the second quarter. It's been all Penn State. The Nittany Lions, number 4 in the country, leading 14-0. They bring pressure. Penix surrounded, got it off to Freifogel, who is stopped at the 21-yard line.
Well, Sean, Michael Penix talked closely with medical training staff on the sideline before this drive. He pointed to his left leg in discomfort. They put a compression sleeve on his left leg. Make note, it's not his surgically repaired right leg. And then Jack Tuttle started warming up, but Penix jumped up, stretched a little, and then went into the game. So he's dealing with something going on with his left leg.
You could tell something was not comfortable in just his movement, his footwork in the pocket. Big third down play here, and Penn State's going to bring pressure.
3rd down and 9. 2 first downs for the Hoosiers so far. Penix incomplete. Not a lot of receivers running open tonight either. Miles Marshall was well covered by the outstanding safety, Jaquan Brisker.
Yeah, I mean, again, we talked about Brisker. They can test everything. Number 1's a safety, but he's an excellent cover guy. That's why he's going to be a really good NFL player, because he has coverage ability to play safety or corner, down in the box in the run game. They just, they can test everything. Indiana forced to punt again.
5th already for James Evans. He didn't know the rules of American football. He probably does now, at least knows his role. It's been a busy half. Nice punt there, out of bounds near the 35-yard line. A 44-yard punt.
It's all coming together this fall with the DQ Fall Blizzard menu, of course. 7 seasonal sensations like new pecan pie, pumpkin pie, and more. A lineup piled so high with fall flavors, you might just want to jump in. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
We invite you to kick off your Week 4 NFL Sunday at 10 a.m. with the Countdown Crew on ESPN and the app. They'll be live from Gillette Stadium. Who knew Tom Brady is returning to Foxborough tomorrow with the Tampa Bay Bucks. And then Monday Night Football caps off Week 4 on ESPN, Deportes, and the ESPN app. The Las Vegas Raiders 3-0 take on the Los Angeles Chargers, who are 2-1, an appealing matchup. Here's Jahan Dotson. First down before he got belted down at the 46-yard line by Raheem Lane.
Little quick throw, and that's what Sean Clifford's done the whole half. He is 0 for 3 throwing the football beyond 10 yards, but everything that's short, he's been very accurate. You see only 96 yards. Does have the 1 interception, but 2 touchdowns. But that's because the running game has supplemented the offense here in the first half better than it has all year.
Clifford off target for Dotson, who was open. Dotson really appreciated when he read this week that Mel Kiper rated him the top wide receiver in the country. Said he talked to his dad, Al, and they were quite emotional talking about that article and Mel's rating of him, saying it's been my dream, my dad's dream, my whole life to play in the NFL. Then they realized with as high as Mel had him rated, number 8 overall, number 1 wide receiver, that is a very likely reality next year. Noah Kane for a yard. Good tackle by Reese Taylor.
Yeah, you know, it was funny. I was down the field before the game for quite a while, and I was watching, you know, they do a lot of pre-warm-up, warm-up stuff now, you know, in sweatpants, and a bunch of the receivers were down there. I was just watching Jahan Dotson, and the look in his eyes, I mean, he was so locked in. This was an hour and a half before the game, just doing footwork drills and catching the football, and he did make eye contact and wave at me, but he was locked in long before this game started.
Warming up before the warm-up.
Yeah, it's
warm-up
amazing
to the warm-up.
watch it, yeah.
5-man rush. Clifford off his back foot, throws behind Dotson. John's not a big guy. We talked to him yesterday. He said he's 179 pounds. Where's that number 5? Because he idolized Reggie Bush growing up. Another guy who wasn't particularly big, although very solidly put together.
I asked him, how much did you weigh when you were in high school? He said, yeah, about 140, 145, you know. So, I mean, he's put on some good weight. And that's why he plays stronger than he looks. You know, a lot like Devontae Smith did last year for Alabama. He didn't look like a real strong guy, but played much bigger than his size indicated.
Stout's punt, then a fair catch by Reese Taylor. So Penn State has really dominated, but Indiana down by just 2 scores with 5:53 to go in the first half here in State College, PA.
My name is Giancarlo Esposito, and I'm preparing to bring you my most monstrous villain yet, Anton Castillo in Far Cry 6. Do you know what you're getting into? Taking on Anton? Fighting on the side of the guerrillas? While I've confronted some formidable foes in my time, I now face someone entirely new. You. Pre-order now, or else. Rated M for mature.
Play it on the all-new Xbox.
Hundreds of certified pre-owned Hondas are in stock and ready for immediate delivery. These are like new Hondas for a fraction of the cost. Save thousands with 0.99% financing. Search your local Honda dealer now.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. Stephen Carr in first down for Indiana. And, of course, when they announced here in the stadium the Oregon score that they lost to Stanford in overtime, this place erupted. They're well aware that Oregon is number 3, or was, entering today's action. Penn State right behind them at number 4. So the Nittany Lions poised to move up to number 3 with a big showdown next week against Iowa.
And that's why I thought the improvement of the running game was so critical, because even if it wasn't a factor tonight, which it still is going to be, Iowa's defense is going to challenge them.
Of course, a long way to go in this one, leading 14-0. And Penix on target to Peyton Hender's shot for a first down.
Nice little route. That little head and eyes to the inside just kept Brisker inside. And then one of the best throws we've seen Michael Penix make tonight.
18-yard gain. They're out to their own 33-yard line. That's the third first down for Indiana here in the first half. Penix airs one out, has an open receiver, and a catch by Miles Marshall. And they're deep into Penn State territory now.
Good protection. It was maximum protection. It was an out and up, and they beat Tariq Castro-Fields. He went for the out fake. Marshall got separation, and 2 throws in a row now. Michael Penix looks like a different quarterback. And he's a streaky guy. Remember, we talked about he's a guy who gets hot, he gets streaky, and when he does that, he's a pretty tough customer to deal with.
34-yard play, longest of the night for Indiana. They can get right back in the game here. 5-man rush. Penix keeps backing up, lofts one up, and it is picked off. If he's in bounds, Joey Porter has it, and it is Penn State ball. Jesse Lucchetta brought the pressure, and Penix just lofted it up for grabs, and his man Freifogel didn't get it.
Yeah, it was almost like he was caught between trying to throw this away, throw it out of bounds, or let his guy make a catch, but because he couldn't step into the throw because of the pressure of Lucchetta, the ball just hung. It hung up in the air for an eternity, and Porter came underneath it to make the interception.
And he was in bounds, had possession. It's his first career interception.
Just like that, 2 excellent throws by Michael Penix, followed by probably a bad decision on that throw, and that's what's got him in trouble this season. The interceptions that he has thrown have been a result of bad decisions and forcing something that maybe isn't there.
The 6th interception for Penn State as a team, more than they had all of last year in 9 games. Clifford taken down by Alfred Bryant.
Well, what did James Franklin tell us yesterday? He said, in actuality, we should have had 11 interceptions and 3 pick sixes already this season.
And you know, a lot of times that sounds like coach speak, but when you go back and watch the tapes of the games that Penn State had played prior to tonight, I think he is accurate in that count. Porter held on. They had 4 interceptions all last year in 9 games. They have 6 in 5 games now, and they're not yet to halftime of game 5. John Lovett stacked up short of the first down.
So, you know what Indiana has done well defensively, Sean, in this game? Even though it seems like Penn State is dominated, they have not given up the big pass play. And Penn State has not been an offense that has had long, methodical drives all season. They've hit you with big plays. Last week they had 7 pass plays over 20 yards. They've had 0 pass plays over 20 yards tonight. The longest pass reception has been 12 yards for Penn State. So Indiana's kind of kept themselves in the game by negating those big pass plays to this point.
3rd down and 1, under 3 minutes to go in the half. Clifford throwing deep for Dodson, who could not make the over-the-shoulder catch. Tried to run under it. Reese Taylor in coverage, and he's limping a bit and now he goes down on the field at the 50-yard line.
Well, the reason this wasn't a better throw is Micah McFadden, who's an outstanding blitzer. Watch him time it, go around the guard, Scruggs, and get to Sean Clifford. Clifford threw that, backing up, couldn't step into the throw, and it brings up a 4th down play.
I mentioned Reese Taylor was limping, and he was limping back toward the middle of the field and then went down right along the numbers at the 50-yard line.
Already down Tywone Mullen, who did not dress out. It was kind of a throw that went more outside. You can see Taylor changing directions. Hard to see what happened, but
it really didn't look like there was any problem as he was running in coverage. And there you see him grabbing at his right thigh. And he's still down on the field. Senior from Indianapolis. At Ben Davis High School, where he was an outstanding quarterback. He led them to a state championship back in 2017. Has played some offense at IU as well. Lots of injuries being dealt with by Tom Allen.
Yeah.
In this Indiana program.
Well, what you're hoping is your offense can stay on the field, and maybe you get him to the locker room and hope he can be okay to play in the second half and not have to come back on the field here before halftime.
As we noted earlier, next Saturday, the college football day gets started on ABC at noon Eastern time. That'll be 11 o'clock in Dallas for the Red River Showdown. Number 6, Oklahoma and Texas. Oklahoma will probably move up as well with Oregon losing. The American League wild card game Tuesday night. Don't look now, but you know who's in control of their destiny? If you can control your destiny.
Well, I know because you were paying attention here a little while ago.
Watching with great intensity.
Yes,
the Boston Red Sox. If they win tomorrow, they will host the wild card game Tuesday night at one of the wonders of the world, Fenway Park. You seem less than interested in this.
No.
I know you're a baseball fan.
I am, but, you know, I'm an Indians fan. So.
Well, they will not be participating in the postseason this year. Indiana could get good field position here on a Jordan Stout punt. Another fair catch made. This one by Ty Freifogel, the 32. 2:40 to go, 2 timeouts for IU. Here's a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by AT&T 5G. And there will be some changes, obviously, with Oregon losing in overtime at Stanford. Iowa very impressive at Maryland last night. Maryland was 4-0 going to that game. Oklahoma again today. Not that impressive, but against a good Kansas State team on the road.
Really good win by Cincinnati, right? Yeah. Going into South Bend.
To me, moved them way up. Yeah. I would ask you this. I think I asked you a few weeks ago. Now that we've seen Georgia play offense, would you rank them number 1 in the country? Do you think they're better than Alabama?
No, I don't. I think their defense is the best that I've seen. But I still would have Alabama ranked number 1 and Georgia ranked number 2.
I bet they get more first place votes this week than they got last week.
They might.
After they won. Of course, Alabama impressive in victory as well over Ole Miss, previously undefeated. Hendershot the catch, Brooks the tackle. Under 2.5 to go. The Hoosiers down 14-0 at their own 36-yard line. Cincinnati wins out, put them in the playoff.
Yeah.
Great win. They were impressive throughout.
The only thing is Cincinnati, at this point, they become a huge fan of both Notre Dame and Indiana. The more that those two teams win, because those are the best wins on their schedule, they need those teams to keep winning.
Ooh. Big collision. Davion Irvin Poindexter smacked by Curtis Jacobs.
Physical outside linebacker. He's kind of the overhang player, that hybrid linebacker, defensive back on the field most every down. Gets a little break after that one. It's a talented defensive football team that Penn State has.
3rd down and 4. Indiana not in any hurry. And the clock runs inside of 1:20 to go in the half.
If they convert here, I think they'll pick up their pace, you know, and see if they can make something happen.
The running play and nowhere to go for Tim Baldwin. He fell forward for a half yard. Jaquan Brisker up around the line of scrimmage, the safety.
This is, again, why you see why Brisker is such a good player. Here he is. All right, we've seen him in man coverage. Now we're going to see him in run support. Indiana has been a big 3rd down run team. Brisker is the unblocked guy and gets behind the line of scrimmage for an easy play. But you see the physicality that Brisker brings along with the coverage ability.
Penn State has called a timeout now. They want to try to score again before the half. 1:05 to go and 1 timeout remaining for the Nittany Lions.
Well, it's been nice to watch if you're a Penn State fan. The running game, 111 yards, It's been good blocking, hard, good decision-making by the backs. The tight ends have blocked well. The offensive line has blocked well. They've had a couple explosive runs. They haven't had the big pass plays, but they have had the big run plays. And again, it's everybody working together. The 5 offensive linemen, the 1, 2, or 3 tight ends that are in, and backs making good decisions and being patient running the football. Again, I think this is the best Penn State has looked. They had 240 yards running against Ball State, but they should have run for 240 yards against Ball State. In every other game, under 100, this is the best they've looked in running the football.
James Evans to punt again. Jahan Dotson, a fair catch at the 16-yard line, 46-yard punt. Aerial coverage is provided by Goodyear to reach the end zone. All you need is drive. Goodyear, more driven.
So Penn State's 59 seconds. They have 1 timeout. You're going to get the ball to start the third quarter. You know, you've got time with a veteran quarterback to see if you can get this first down. And if you get a little momentum on the first couple plays, then maybe you try to get into scoring territory. They're a long way from scoring territory right now, but we'll see how they play.
They do have a field goal kicker with a very strong leg. Stout's career long is 57 yards. That's the school record. Clifford going deep, single coverage. Intended for Keandre Lambert-Smith. He got tangled up with Jalen Williams, and it's incomplete. Talk about the injuries on the Indiana defense. They weren't sure if Jalen Williams is going to play tonight. He suffered a concussion in their game last week. Early in the second half, left the game, but was cleared obviously to play tonight.
And we should mention Noah Pierre is the cornerback in now. He's in for Reese Taylor, who did not come back onto the field.
They're playing without their All-American corner Tywan Mullen. Devin Ford runs across the 20-yard line with a flag down, and it's going against Penn State.
In the area you would expect holding.
Holding. Offense, number 53. Half the distance to the goal. Second down.
Now I think James Franklin's probably going to get
Indiana's
conservative.
chosen to start the clock on the ready for play.
You don't want to do anything foolish here and let Indiana have an invitation back into the game. You've dominated. It's 14-0. You're going to get the ball to start the third quarter. Wouldn't be surprised to see Penn State run the football here.
And I'm surprised that Indiana elected to start the clock on the ready for play. It's second down and 18. You have 2 timeouts left. I mean, if you're Penn State, why wouldn't you run the clock all the way down here? They snap it with 14 seconds on the clock. If you're Indiana, shouldn't you be thinking about a timeout?
Well,
Penn
you
State
could.
gets the ball
just
to
try
start
to
the
rush the
second
punter.
half.
Try to rush the punter, see what you could do. I mean, offensively, you've not shown the ability to make any big plays right now, but you could at least rush the punter.
And Clifford looked to his sideline. They said, slow down.
Right. If they're not going to call timeouts, let's not help them here.
No. Kind of a strange ending.
It's the end of the first half. Timeout on the field.
Tom Allen had Penn State backed up at 2 timeouts left and elected to let the clock run and not use the timeouts. They'll try to regroup after they had just 4 first downs in the first half. 14-0 Penn State. We'll send you to the studio for the Dish halftime report after this message and a word from our ABC stations. You're watching college football presented by Capital One. And this is the Big Ten on ABC from Beaver Stadium on the campus of Penn State. The 4th-ranked team of the country, the Nittany Lions, trying to go to 5-0, leading Indiana at halftime, 14-0. Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge, and Molly McGrath. Our producer, Josh Hoffman, our director, Scott Johnson, our terrific ABC Saturday night crew. We're all Delighted to have you with us on a gorgeous night here in early October.
Beautiful.
Jared Smolar kicks off for Indiana. Really no breeze to speak of. Temperature still in the low 60s, and that one is a touchback, almost out of bounds. Here's tonight's Fighting Spirit moment, brought to you by Modelo.
Well, we talked about Jahan Dotson, and Sean Clifford was going to try to find him. 9 times he was targeted. Came away with 4 catches in that first half. None of them big-time plays, but again, you see the confidence Sean Clifford has, and you really see it on the touchdown. He puts a ball up to the back of the end zone that only his guy can make the catch. And Jahan Dotson comes down with it. 4 catches, 39 yards, and that touchdown in the first half.
Kevon Lee, who was their most effective runner in the first half, gets 5. Wrestled down by Micah McFadden. Here's Molly McGrath.
Well, Tom Allen told me they'll try to see if corner Reese Taylor is healthy enough to play after sustaining a leg injury in the first half. He was the first player to come out onto the field. He was running around and moving well. Allen said they absolutely need him to play. And his message amidst all these defensive injuries is don't blink and keep battling. He said on this first defensive possession, the goal is to get a takeaway or a big stop, saying his players need more confidence and momentum on their side. And I asked if they're going to go to Jack Tuttle at all at quarterback. He said that's not a part of the game plan.
Well, they do have a chance for a 3 and out here after they stopped Lee on 2nd down for no gain. Here's 3rd down and 5. They stayed 2 out of 7 on 3rd down in the first half. Clifford 11 out of 23 passing for 96 yards. And he's on target. The Dotson is swung down by Jalen Williams, but he has the first down with a yard to spare.
A good timing throw. There was pretty decent pressure. That time Cam Jones was blitzing from his linebacker position, but Clifford able to get rid of it.
Again, they go quickly after getting the first down, and Lee knocked down after a 1-yard gain.
Well, Molly mentioned they wanted to see if Reese Taylor could play. He's not out there right now. I mean, they've got Noah Pierre, number 21, is in there at corner, along with Jalen Williams. Here's Taylor trying to see if he can be good enough to go, and they, as Tom Allen said, they desperately need him, particularly without Tywan Mullen for the entire game.
Tune in late. Mullen, the All-American cornerback from last year, traveled here, tried to warm up, but has a leg injury, couldn't go. He's in street clothes. Dotson again, that's 8 more on the catch. James Miller made the tackle. This was in pregame when Mullen was told that he was not going to play tonight, and obviously upset. Kevon Lee trying to pick his way to the line to make, and he gets stood up right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down.
What Indiana is trying to do with defensive coordinator Charlton Williams is they're trying to force Penn State to methodically go down the field, eliminate the big pass plays, because they have not shown through their first 4 wins, even though they've been successful, the ability to sustain a lot of scoring drives. And that formula is working. They haven't had the big pass plays, but they still lead 14-0.
Jordan Stout punts. Fair catch made by Ty Freifogel. Can Indiana establish some offense here in the second half? You're watching college football presented by Capital One.
My name is Giancarlo Esposito, and I'm preparing to bring you my most monstrous villain yet, Anton Castillo in Far Cry 6. Do you know what you're getting into? Taking on Anton? Fighting on the side of the guerrillas? While I've confronted some formidable foes in my time, I now face someone entirely new. You. Pre-order now, or else. Rated M for mature.
Play it on the all-new Xbox.
Lowe's showrooms have a variety of stylish flooring you'll love for years to come, like Stainmaster with lifetime stain resistance limited warranty. Order now. Get your flooring installed with help from Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility.
Taco Bell welcomes you to the Live Más Student Section of the Year contest. Use hashtag Student Section Sauce to get the committee's attention. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. It's one of the great student sections in college football. Beaver Stadium. Penn State pitching a shutout. First possession of the second half for Michael Penix in Indiana. And his pass to Freifogel, dangerous, too far out in front of him. And incomplete.
They have not tried to throw on first down very many times. They've handed off inside to Stephen Carr most of the night. That time they faked it. They had him open, just not an accurate throw by Michael Penix. This Penn State defense is hard if you're behind the chains, and Nick Sheridan is finding that out.
Young offensive coordinator at Indiana, or Michigan quarterback. Just 33 years old. Dad Bill, longtime college and NFL coach, now at Air Force Academy. Five-man rush for the Nittany Lions. Penix throws, caught, first down. It's Javon Swinton with his first catch of the night.
Nice job picking up the pressure. Again, they like to bring five guys, which they're going to bring pressure, but it's not man coverage. It's still zone coverage behind it. It's picked up. Penix is strong in the pocket, and he steps and delivers. Solid throw right there for the first down.
Penix led the Big Ten last year in pass yards per game. As he said, played in the first 6 games and ripped up his knee. Didn't finish the year. Jack Tuttle started the last 2. Nick Sheridan into the bag of tricks, and that didn't work. Jacoby Hewitt dumped for a loss.
Yeah, that did not fool the Penn State defense at all. You hope on misdirections you get them going one way, but Penn State was right on this play. Really, it was the pressure into the backfield by Ebiketie that really blew that play up. Number 17, boy, has he been a valuable contributor since they got him from the portal from Temple. Had a really nice career at Temple, and he has filled a nice void here as an edge rusher for Penn State.
They lost 2 first-team All-Big Ten defensive linemen to the NFL draft from a year ago, Jason Owe and Shaka Toney. Look out, Penix in trouble, manages to run free and get near the line of scrimmage. Brandon Smith wouldn't let him get past it. Good pressure by Devon Ellis.
And Penix is slow to get up. And remember, he had the right knee, the surgery. He had something going on with his left leg that Molly reported, and that's why Jack Tuttle was warming up earlier in the game. And he just doesn't show a whole lot of mobility on this play. No chance to get outside of Brandon Smith. There's no question he's a tough kid, and he's competing, and he's trying the best he can, but he just has not looked very comfortable or very healthy for most of this game.
We mentioned he had his season ended last year in the 6th game with an ACL injury. In 2019, he had a right sternoclavicular joint injury. You can explain what that is later. And his season ended after 6 games in 19 as well. And back in 18, a season-ending ACL injury. And still on the ground here tonight.
My name is Giancarlo Esposito, and I'm preparing to bring you my most monstrous villain yet, Anton Castillo in Far Cry 6. Do you know what you're getting into? Taking on Anton? Fighting on the side of the guerrillas? While I've confronted some formidable foes in my time, I now face someone entirely new. You. Pre-order now, or else. Rated M for mature.
Play it on the all-new Xbox.
Lowe's showrooms have a variety of stylish flooring you'll love for years to come, like Stainmaster with lifetime stain resistance limited warranty. Order now. Get your flooring installed with help from Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility.
Well, while we were away, Michael Penix walked off directly to their locker room, didn't even go to their sideline. So it's quite possible his night is going to be over after this play.
Yeah, he was struggling with something with his left leg earlier in the game. This looked like his left shoulder, which is his throwing shoulder that they were looking at. You could see when he was walking off the field, that arm was kind of hanging. And so now we've got Jack Tuttle, who's kind of been warming up on and off throughout the game. And now the game is in his hands.
Nick Sheridan, the offensive coordinator, said we think he's one of the best backup quarterbacks in the Big Ten, maybe the best. Started 2 games last year after Penix went out for the year with that ACL injury.
The first play is 3rd and 16.
Welcome to the game, and he gets plastered by Ebiketie.
Ebiketie got held, and it didn't matter. He still blew by the right tackle. Watch how quick he is off the ball. Caleb Jones, the right tackle, he's going to hold him and grab him. Didn't matter. Ebiketie got there and delivered the hit. Funny, we talked to Brent Pry about Ebiketie, and he said when he first got here, we weren't sure he was going to be physical enough to play at this level. Had a great career at Temple, but to what we needed him in that position, he's kind of answered that challenge.
Another punt by James Evans. Jahan Dotson with some room on the catch. He got belted at the 40. It was interesting. Brett Price said, he said to Ebiketie, we may not play you in the opener at Wisconsin. That's going to be a really physical game. We're not sure you're physical enough. Having a little fun with Ebiketie, but he proved right away in that game he belonged. He had 7 solo tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a sack against the Badgers in their season opening win.
And a blocked field goal, I think. I think he had that as well. He had a heck of a football game.
We were talking about how these teams that are hoping to get into the college football playoff, they're hoping the teams they beat do well. It doesn't help Penn State's cause, obviously, that Wisconsin's now 1-3.
Yeah.
After they lost to Michigan. Michigan still undefeated. Cam Jones is the injured player.
You know what I think the coaches are talking to Ebiketie about right there is, hey, great move. Way to get around that big tackle. Good hit on the quarterback, but make sure you don't get too high. We've seen guys get disqualified for targeting, and I think his coaches were saying you could see him going in the head and neck area. That was too high on the hit. Just get your head down when you hit the quarterback like that.
Second possession of the half for the Nittany Lions. Noah Cain to the 41-yard line for a pickup of 2. Here's the play you're talking about.
See, I mean, that could actually be replayed from the booth and rule targeting, because it was a hit to the head and neck area on a defenseless player, the quarterback, and that very easily could have been a targeting foul called on Ebiketie.
What do you think, Matt Austin?
Todd, you're exactly right, although today I've seen 2 or 3 overturned that were very similar to that, so I think we may be evolving a little bit away from some of those iffy hits.
Well, good. That would be good.
Screen to Cain, and he is chopped down for a big loss by Bryant Fitzgerald. There is a flag down on the play.
I'll tell you what, this Indiana defense is showing some grit now. I mean, they're down guys.
Offside. Defense, number 13, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's a costly penalty on Jaron Handy, because that was a loss of yardage play. It was going to bring a long yardage 3rd down situation. Here he is right here. Just got that head across the ball. You know, I mean, that's an easy call to make, and takes away an excellent play on 2nd down.
Andy's another transfer. He came in from Auburn. Noah Cain squirts through the middle for another Penn State 1st down. Into Hoosier territory to their 46-yard line.
Again, it's been a different Penn State offense tonight. We haven't seen the fireworks in their passing game. We had the 1 touchdown pass to Jahan Dotson, but it's been more of a ground and pound kind of attack for them. 139 yards rushing now.
He marked it at the 47. Cain remains the running back. And the ball carrier. Micah McFadden, another tackle. Aaron Casey in there as well for Indiana.
You know, and I think a little bit here, Sean, not that you're trying to take the air out of the football or that you're going to get conservative. I'm not saying that. But as you look at this balance right now, this is a good opportunity for Penn State to stick with their running game and work on it. You know, because right now the way their defense is playing, Indiana's not showing much of a threat to score a couple touchdowns in the second half.
The defense remains salty. That's Brian Fitzgerald again. Fifth-year senior from Indianapolis. Was a starter last year when McCrary Ball was out due to injury. He's a backup, but he's played a lot of snaps here tonight.
Yeah, timed that blitz from the edge perfectly. Nobody there to block him, and gets the tackle for loss in the backfield. Big third down play now for this Indiana defense. Again, down a couple secondary people.
3rd and 12. They're not in field goal range. Penn State 3 out of 9 on 3rd down tonight. Pressure. Clifford takes off running. Clifford scampers to the sideline with a first down.
Jaron Handy got good pressure. Question of whether or not he got held by Rasheed Walker, the left tackle. But again, a good decision by Sean Clifford. You just have to be very disciplined rushing him. You see the hit by Raheem Lane out on the sideline, but Clifford just has a very good feel. See, here's the pressure right there. Could have maybe drawn a call against Rasheed Walker, but it doesn't take anything away from the decision-making of Sean Clifford to run the football there.
13 yards to keep the drive going, and now they are at least on the edge of field goal range for the strong-legged Stout. And Clifford gets back to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. Ryder Anderson and Wes Kramer there for Indiana.
They're trying to go for the little pump fake the screen and go deep, and just didn't have time to make the throw.
You said a very solid performance by Indiana on defense tonight.
Yep.
And I think, and I know you agree, because we talked about it, Charlton Warren, it was really the first time we've talked to him, the new defensive coordinator. He was extremely impressive
yeah.
in our Zoom call with him the other day. Spent the last 2 years at Georgia as the DB coach under Kirby Smart. Kane Womack was their defensive coordinator last year. That's John Lovett for a short run. He went to South Alabama to be the head coach. He has them off to a 3-0 start. And how about the story Warren told us? He said he's been intrigued by Indiana just watching from a distance. And he said last year when he was at Georgia, Kirby Smart showed the Georgia team tapes of Tom Allen motivational speeches.
Yeah. After they lost to Alabama.
Yeah. And he said he was so impressed by Coach Allen in those talks. This could be a double pass. Maybe they're setting it up for the next time. That was a lateral. Dotson didn't get much. Another good tackle in the open field by Bryant Fitzgerald.
That was a heck of a play because they had a blocker out there. They got one good block by the tight end. And Fitzgerald just made a heck of an open field tackle. Penn State going for it here, kind of on that edge of field goal range.
4th and 4. They converted a 4th and 7 on their first touchdown drive of the game.
Dotson is all the way in here on the inside of 3 receivers.
Plenty of time for Clifford. And he throws for Dotson down the sideline and into the end zone. Touchdown, Penn State.
It's the craftiness, again, of Sean Clifford. He's scrambling. He's extending the play, but he wants to throw the entire time. He's never thinking about running until the last minute. He has a great feel of knowing when to run and when to scramble to throw. And that time it paid off for a touchdown to Dotson. The second combination between those two in the ballgame.
Now 18 for their career. They're no longer tied. with Todd Blackledge and Kenny Jackson scratched from the record book.
Yeah. Well, again, watch Sean Clifford extend the play, but his eyes never leave downfield. He knows where the line of scrimmage is. As soon as he sees that linebacker come up, dumps the ball to Dotson, says, "You run better than I do."
Aurelio se fue del pueblo, voy a comerme el mundo. Y si ahora lo vieras en la discoteca, que marcha lleva, venga, venga, venga. Por la pista más bestia de la vida.
It's all coming together this fall with the DQ Fall Blizzard menu, of course. 7 seasonal sensations like new pecan pie, pumpkin pie, and more. A lineup piled so high with fall flavors, you might just want to jump in. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
Saturday Night Football, presented by Capital One on ABC, is brought to you by Shell. Take your fandom further with the Fuel Rewards program. Join today and save at Shell.
Back at Beaver Stadium, a stripe out, and this huge crowd enjoying what they're seeing tonight. Penn State leading Indiana 21-0 for the second touchdown of the night by Jahan Dotson. Another touchback for Jordan Stout.
Now his 8th catch. Now watch as he runs this crossing route. I want to show you a guy who has chemistry with his quarterback. Right here, see, he thinks it's zone, so he's settling down. But then when he sees his quarterback start to go, he goes with him, and he stays in phase with the quarterback because he knows Sean Clifford, when he scrambles, he's looking downfield to throw. Just a beautiful job of being on the same page with his quarterback and not giving up on a play.
Dotson tonight, 8 catches for 84 yards and 2 touchdowns. With the 8 catches, 127 in his career now. He's moved to the top 10 all time at Penn State in career receptions. Just moved past O.J. McDuffie in the 10th. And he's 2 behind number 9, Mike Gesicki, the tight end, with 129 career catches. Did Mike for the Lions. Matt Bjorson ridden out of bounds. We update this number.
Records are made to be broken, you know.
Yours lasted a long time. You played here when, in the 60s?
Early 80s. Yeah. It was a long time ago, though.
Kenny Jackson was a terrific receiver.
He was.
And you, my friend, were one of the all-time great players here. And still are. I guess once you were, you are.
Nice play.
There's Hendershot. Nice run after the catch as well. He's all the way into Penn State territory. With Jack Tuttle, the backup, still at quarterback here, as Penix left with an injury.
Yeah, Sean, I'm told it's not good for Michael Penix. He's out for the game with a left shoulder injury. Doctors are looking to see if he has a joint separation in that shoulder. He'll get an MRI in Indiana to determine his health for the rest of the season.
That's too bad.
Just one injury after another for Penix. They do feel, as we said, they have a capable stand-in in Tuttle. Certainly looks the part. Big guy, 6'4", 212, redshirt junior. Transfer from Utah, where he never saw any game action. Nice throw there. Back shoulder to Ty Freifogel, who hasn't done much tonight.
Yeah, he's working one-on-one with Joey Porter, and because the ball was underthrown, the receiver has a chance. He stays in bounds. He actually had both feet in, only needs one. That was a nice timing throw by Jack Tuttle. Remember, his first play was 3rd and 16. He got sacked. Now he looks pretty good here with a normal possession.
There's them on the move. That was a 27-yard completion. 4th catch for Freifogel. Nick Sheridan says Tuttle's ultra prepared and a great leader.
Oh boy, just look for the ball.
And he caught Stephen Card by surprise. The running back wasn't ready for it.
He was open right now, and I don't think Stephen Carr expected the football. Jack Tuttle gets rid of it quick. It hits Carr right in the head. I don't think he was ready for that throw. That's kind of a play that got away. Chance for a decent play there for Indiana. better make sure you get a good block on Ebiketie. Here he is right here. He's their best pass rusher.
Hand off to Carr. Managed to avoid the traffic behind the line of scrimmage. And he got banged around as he crossed the 15-yard line.
Turned that into a little bit more than it looked like was going to be there. It looked like Penn State had that play pretty well defended. Still ended up getting 5 yards out of it. 4, I guess.
3rd down and 6. Approaching 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Indiana trying to get on the board with the backup Jack Tuttle at quarterback. He's the son of a former Indiana player. His dad, Jay, was a walk-on place kicker for IU in the mid and late 80s. They bring a blitz at Jack. He throws, lots of contact and an incomplete pass.
Great play by Daquan Hardy. I mean, this is the slot fade. This is a really difficult play to defend in man coverage because the quarterback has a lot of room to throw to the outside, and Hardy is right there, has his hand, his left hand in between the arms of the receiver. Swinton was the intended target. Just well played by Daquan Hardy there to force a field goal opportunity.
For Charles Campbell's great weapon, as Tom Allen said, for his career, he's 19 out of 20 in field goals, including 7 for 7 this season. He made 4 at Western Kentucky last week to tie the single-game Indiana record for field goals. And this one is blocked.
I think it was Ebiketie again. He got the block in the opener against Wisconsin. They just collapsed the left side of the protection, and I think it was Ebiketie who got a hand on the football. Watch the left side right here. They just collapsed this side. Now let's see if that's 17 who gets a hand on the football. Yep, sure was.
Penetration from Brandon Smith as well.
Walker with his face mask.
Kind of a low kick by Charles Campbell. Just his second career miss, and Indiana still scoreless. They look for their first win ever here at Beaver Stadium. 0-11 in this stadium all time. Sean Clifford runs for no gain, taken down by Cam Jones as we approach a minute to go in the third quarter. Charlton Warren, defensive coordinator, Air Force Academy grad, grew up in Atlanta. Fine player, recruited by a variety of schools, Ivy League schools. Said he really didn't have any interest in the academy life, and then he met the legendary coach Fisher DeBerry, who convinced him to come take a visit to Colorado Springs. Incomplete pass. He said, I had never been on a plane. I had never seen snow. And he went to the Air Force Academy and immediately just fell in love with really the difficulty of it. You know, the tough academic standards and everything that goes into being a member of the military. Did 10 years of active duty, wasn't thinking about coaching, and it was Coach DeBerry who talked him into becoming a coach.
I think he's going to be a coach for as long as he wants to be a coach now.
I would not be surprised if he's a head coach. That guy has everything you're looking for. Theo Johnson, nice run after the catch. And the tight end has a first down out to the 42-yard line.
Be ready for tempo now. They make the big play. Looks like there is a man down, but again, this Theo Johnson, he's an impressive tight end. I mean, he was out as a wide receiver. Again, 6'6", 260. They had him flanked out. He has the ability to run routes, get down the field, stretch the field. Working on the linebacker, Marcelino McCrary-Ball, who is hard inside on his technique.
And this could be another key injury for Indiana. Raheem Lane, their leading tackler for the year, came in to make the tackle, and he is still down on the field. Tywan Mullen, All-American cornerback a year ago, did not dress tonight. He tried to warm up. They were without Jonathan Sutherland. Well, Jonathan's on the other team. They'd probably like to trade for him. Pennick's out. Reese Taylor has left the game, and he's not coming back. And as we said, they arrived here without DJ Matthews, who figured to be one of their top wide receivers. You know, it's a program, Indiana, Todd, that got so much attention last year. They were one of the best teams in the country. They got up to number 7 in the rankings at one point, and they were ranked in the preseason this year for the first time since 1969. But it doesn't look like the same team. I know the injuries are a part of it, but it just doesn't look like the same juice that we're used to seeing from Indiana the last couple of years.
Yeah, and it sounded like it. Like when we talked to Tom Allen and the other coaches on the Zoom earlier, it sounded like they felt like they had a great week, like they were ready to play, excited to play. 4th team in the country, a chance to prove what kind of team we really are. But I just think this team goes as their quarterback goes so much. Michael Penix is such a focal point of this offense, and he just has not had the kind of year that anybody thought that he might. Even though he was coming off the injury, you know, he just had a long way back, and he just has not gotten back, and now it looks like it's Jack Tuttle who's got to try to do it.
Penn State's not going to snap it. Indiana 6-2 last year, 6-1 in the Big Ten, and the only loss was at a terrific game at Ohio State. They lost by a touchdown. They can't do anything on offense tonight. They're down 21-0 after 3. Our presentation will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Product not yet rated.
Hundreds of certified pre-owned Hondas are in stock and ready for immediate delivery. These are like new Hondas for a fraction of the cost. Save thousands with 0.99% financing. Search your local Honda dealer now.
This season, along with your contributions to the university's general scholarship funds for every field goal and extra point made, Allstate will also be donating to the American Red Cross to help with disaster relief efforts. Thank you, Allstate, and thank you to Goodyear for our aerial coverage on this beautiful night. With you for every mile on the road to greatness, Goodyear, more driven. Keandre Lambert-Smith, the catch. On the first play of the 4th quarter, it's a first down for the Nittany Lions, who are leading 21-0.
You know, you hear the term RPO a lot. This is an RPO. It's a run-pass option, but the offensive line is blocking run. Noah Kane, the running back, he thinks he's getting the ball. That's just the quarterback deciding the numbers are better to throw. So the line blocks the run, the running back runs the run, and the quarterback makes the decision to whether to give it to the running back or throw it down the field. And that time, they got the completion.
And it's a pass by Dotson. It's a completion to Parker Washington, and it's a first down just shy of the 20-yard line.
Now Dotson already has a touchdown pass, I think, this season. He's done this before, a little reverse. Sean Clifford's kind of the blocker out there. He doesn't force it down the field, gets it to Washington.
Dotson completed a pass against Auburn. On target again, Keandre Lambert-Smith. There's Dotson's parents, Al and Robin. Flag down on the play.
Offense, number 79, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Caden Wallace, the right tackle for James Franklin.
They think he's got a chance to be really good. I mean, he's had his ups and downs so far in the first 4 games. He's a big guy, an athletic kid. They just think he needs to get more consistency. He's played better tonight. Of course, the penalty there, but again, this is a team that's run the ball for 154 yards. The best balance they've had offensively all season.
That'll be important. in their next game when they head to Iowa next Saturday. What will almost certainly be a battle of two unbeatens. Clifford. And the pass incomplete. John Lovett couldn't catch it. Then he got blasted by Monster Matthews. Raheem Lane, by the way, taken to their locker room. So that's another starting defensive back who's not in action now for Indiana. Second down and 20 from the 30-yard line.
The only good news for Indiana is they have a week off next week before their next game against Michigan State. A chance to maybe get some guys healed up.
Clifford runs out of bounds near the 25.
You know, when you're trying to rebuild a program like Tom Allen is, and you got to do it with recruiting or junior colleges or the transfer portal now, but the reality is the difference between programs at that level and a Penn State or an Ohio State or some of those programs is depth. You just don't have the same kind of depth. It takes years of recruiting at a high level to build the kind of depth to sustain the kind of injuries and guys missing games, missing snaps like Indiana's facing tonight.
3rd and 14. Clifford, boy, he has a great feel for where he can escape. Has the first down and slides down near the 5-yard line.
Just does this so well. I mean, he knows when to run. Most of the time when he scrambles, he's looking to throw, but he just knows he's got that knack of when to run. That's why he's run for so many yards in his career, because he makes those plays that aren't designed to be the quarterback run, but he turns them into such positive plays.
Rushed for 58 tonight. You mentioned earlier he had his career high 119 yards rushing in that agonizing loss at Indiana.
First time out, Indiana, they're first.
The season opener last year in that COVID delayed and shortened season. Timeout Indiana. Penn State up 21-0 and poised for more.
Lowe's showrooms have a variety of stylish flooring you'll love for years to come, like Stainmaster with lifetime stain resistance limited warranty. Order now. Get your flooring installed with help from Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility.
NHL, ESPN, back together again.
And we're so excited to have the NHL back on ESPN. Opening night, Tuesday, October 12th. We'll get started at 7:30 with the Penguins at the Lightning. And the Bay hoist the Stanley Cup banner. Noah Kane weaves his way inside the 5. It'll be second down and goal for Penn State, leading 21-0. I know you'll be tuned in for the hockey. That's a doubleheader a week from Tuesday night. The Seattle Kraken will play their first game in franchise history at the Vegas Golden Knights right after the Penguins and the Lightning.
I'm going to need some tutelage, though, between now and then, because I don't understand the rules of hockey all that well.
We know you'll be tuned in regularly this year, and you'll learn a lot.
All right.
Noah Kane stopped short of the goal line by Micah McFadden.
One thing Penn State has done in this kind of scenario, I don't know if they'll do it now if they need to, but they've used Tyler Warren, one of their tight ends, number 44, as a Wildcat quarterback. And they usually bring number 86, Brenton Strange, in as a blocking fullback. Sean Clifford, yep, here it is right now. Clifford's out as a wide receiver. They'll take 44 back to the quarterback in the lead block of Brenton Strange and run the football with 44.
Here he comes, and he goes down right at the line of scrimmage. So that didn't work. Ryder Anderson helped blow it up.
Really nice play by Ryder Anderson right there.
Mike Yursich now asking James Franklin, are we going for this? And the Nittany Lions will on 4th down and goal from the 1.
This would be a give to the left. Give to Lee.
Clifford under center, gave it to Lee, and he gets stacked up.
Wow.
Goal line stand by the Hoosier defense, which has been valiant tonight with no help from the offense and losing key players left and right. Charlton Warren's group has been terrific.
They really have. I mean, Penn State trying to get big, 3 tight ends in the game, just excellent technique, fighting off the block and getting in there by Cam Jones to make this play. Number 4, right at the point of attack, McFadden there to help. It's the progressive pylon replay. You can see clearly, great goal line stand by the Indiana Hoosiers. That was the 68th play that Penn State has run on offense. So this Hoosier defense, which has lost some guys by attrition, has been on that field a long time. No quit in that group at all.
Reflection of the head coach, Tom Allen, who has his background on the defensive side of the ball. Jack Tuttle just trying to get some room. Flag down. Might have been a false start.
False start. Offense number 5. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
A very short penalty. Been a relatively penalty-free game. Each team penalized 3 times now. And Indiana trying to get out of the shadow of the goalpost, and they're at the student section end. Tuttle manages to fall forward for a yard or 2.
You have to try to throw the football right here. Max protect. See if you can get the ball out of there. A nice, safe outside route. Freifogel in the slot, running an out route.
Ten minutes to go. Play clock down to 2. Tuttle the fake inside, then Freifogel. Could not make the catch.
The thing that's tough about throwing inside like that is there's just so many bodies. There's a lot of traffic, and you're by your own goal line. It's safer to throw outside when you're backed up like this. Of course, the defense knows that too. They're going to try to funnel everything inside. Now try to help your punter here, give him a little room.
3rd down and 9. Carr wrapped up, got out of the end zone, but that's it. Lost a little. Devon Ellis has had a nice night. He's a backup defensive tackle, redshirt freshman from Burtonsville, Maryland, made the play.
Yeah, right penetration into the backfield. A lot of tackles for loss tonight for Penn State's defense. They've been aggressive, attacking the line of scrimmage, and I think because they don't feel threatened down the field, they have really been in attack mode at that line of scrimmage.
So they don't get room for James Evans, who's on the punt for the 8th time.
Boy, nice boot. 1 step and kick. That's really good. This guy's really good too.
Dynamic player in the special teams realm, and also obviously as a wide receiver. 18-yard return of a 48-yard punt. 8:48 to go. Penn State 21-0.
My name is Giancarlo Esposito, and I'm preparing to bring you my most monstrous villain yet, Anton Castillo in Far Cry 6. Do you know what you're getting into? Taking on Anton? Fighting on the side of the guerrillas? While I've confronted some formidable foes in my time, I now face someone entirely new. You. Pre-order now, or else Rated M for mature.
Play it on the all-new Xbox.
Hundreds of certified pre-owned Hondas are in stock and ready for immediate delivery. These are like new Hondas for a fraction of the cost. Save thousands with 0.99% financing. Search your local Honda dealer now.
Saturday Night Football on ABC is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Some images from the Progressive Pylon camera. You know what was interesting in our conversation with James Franklin yesterday? We're talking about the controversial ending of their game at Indiana last year when Penix went lunging for the pylon. It was tough to tell if he got it. They ruled it a successful 2-point conversion and a 1-point win in overtime. James Franklin says there should be cameras in every pylon.
Yeah.
So he'd be a big fan. We need to get Progressive to spend a little more money, perhaps. Advertising budget. Here's Noah Kane. But he wants a pylon, a camera in every pylon.
Well, one of our bosses, Ed Placey, would probably be in agreement with him.
I think he would.
Inspector loves all
But,
the
you know, the
gadgetry.
problem with that, now we have the pylon cam that points right down the goal line, as we just saw. 2nd and 10, Penn State. Clifford going deep. Clifford sends it over the head of Lambert Smith. But the pylon cam would also have to point down the sideline, because if that was going to help on the play when Penix lunged for the pylon, and Josh Hoffman tells us it does. See, there's and Scott Johnson, our part-time director, is telling us that that camera points up the sideline. So if that was there last year in Bloomington, that might have helped with the call. Might have. And there's a view from the pylon cam along the sideline. James Franklin was adamant. He said, well, all the money the Big Ten has, there should be a camera in every pylon. Amen. Those camera people are very smart. Clifford running out of time. Throws on the run. It was Micah McFadden who gave him a hit as Clifford delivered. Boy, is McFadden a competitor, and that's one of the things Tom Allen told us he loved about Micah McFadden when he watched him play high school football.
Yeah, just plays every play hard. Little gimpy getting up at the end of that play. Giving chase and forcing the throwaway on 3rd and long.
So here's Jordan Stout. As they take a look at McFadden. They've just lost one player after another on the defensive side tonight. Stout has plenty of leg.
Tom Allen took a timeout because they had 12 guys on the field. And he didn't want to get penalized there.
They're playing hard. It's the offense that doesn't done anything to help the Hoosiers tonight.
My name is Giancarlo Esposito, and I'm preparing to bring you my most monstrous villain yet, Anton Castillo in Far Cry 6. Do you know what you're getting into? Taking on Anton? Fighting on the side of the guerrillas? While I've confronted some formidable foes in my time, I now face someone entirely new. You. Buy it now, or else. Rated M for mature.
Play it on the all-new Xbox.
Lowe's showrooms have a variety of stylish flooring you'll love for years to come. Like Pergo Wet Protect and Stainmaster, exclusively at Lowe's. Your life might change, but your flooring can last a lifetime. Order now. Get your flooring installed with help from Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility.
Next Saturday, noon Eastern time, one of the great rivalries in college football renewed. 117th edition of the Red River Showdown. Oklahoma and Texas. And Tuesday night on ESPN, 8 o'clock, the American League wild card game. What a wild race that has been for the two wild card positions in the American League. And now the Red Sox in control of their destiny. If they win, they would host that wild card game on Tuesday night. There's Jordan Stout trying a 50-yarder. And that one is good. His 4th career field goal of 50-plus. Now 4 out of 8 from that distance, including a school record 57-yarder 2 years ago against Pittsburgh.
Everything good about the operation. Snap, hold, and drilled it.
Well, he mentioned what a wild ride it's been last season and this season. Last year they started out 0-5, first time in school history. To their credit, finished with 4 straight wins. Came into this season ranked number 19 in the preseason. They're about to go to 5-0 and probably be number 3 in the AP poll next week. The coaches poll, they were behind Iowa and Oklahoma, number 6 this week, and all going well on the recruiting front. This man can really recruit.
Yeah, I mean, right now, all signs are pointing to them having the number 1 recruiting class for the class of 22. Of course, there's a long time left in that cycle, but they are off to a great start. And remember, the first half of this year's first game against Wisconsin, their offense, Penn State didn't do anything. It was 0-0. Their defense held them in. It was a close game on the road in Madison. First time back with crowds. And the defense, with a couple big interceptions at the end, sealed the game. But winning that game just kind of really set them off for where they are right now.
The schedule does get difficult next Saturday at Iowa. What a game that should be. Both undefeated. At Ohio State, October 30th. Michigan comes here on November 13th. Michigan still undefeated. And at Michigan State on November 27th. For Jahan Dotson and these Nittany Lions.
You know, and it's interesting, Sean. We've done 2 Michigan games. This is our first Penn State game. But the feeling was kind of similar. Last year, people were upset, disappointed. That didn't really represent what Penn State was, didn't represent what Michigan was. A lot of resolve this year, better locker room, better chemistry, and better results. And I think we've seen that both in Ann Arbor and here in State College.
Jack Tuttle ran for 10 and a first down. And no question, I think last year was almost a throw-out year for an aberration for so many programs. And, you know, COVID caused so many problems, but one of the problems for a lot of teams was team unity. You didn't spend any time together. The meetings were on Zoom, and we weren't supposed to socialize away from the football building. We talked to the Penn State folks yesterday. Said this team is much closer, in large part because it's easier to be. Freifogel the catch, short gain.
You know, we get the opportunity to talk to players. One of the treats, you know, in our job, in our business. And I thought when we got a chance to visit with Jesse Luketa yesterday, I thought he was just such an impressive kid. Just a big, physical, tough defensive lineman. But what a great story, a great journey to get here. Really enjoyed visiting with him.
He is out there, number 40, plays defensive end and linebacker. Tuttle runs again. He's the youngest of 8 children. He's from Ottawa, Ontario. Wanted to play American football. He said in part because I thought it was a way for me to help my family down the road. So when he was 12 years old, he started sending emails to high schools, to prep schools in the United States. And Molly McGrath, yesterday you got Jesse to screenshot you an example of one of those emails that he sent around to high school coaches.
Yeah, and that first sentence there says it all, Sean. I'm an ambitious, hardworking, and determined athlete looking to play American football in the U.S. He told me at one point he was sending over 100 emails a day. He still has them on his phone. He was scrolling through them for us. He's a really impressive guy.
You got very few responses, but he did get a response from Mercyhurst Prep in Erie, Pennsylvania. So he decided to come down here to the States. But that's an email written by a 12 or 13-year-old.
It's pretty impressive.
And he played at Mercyhurst and played very well. And being recruited by a lot of schools, but wanted to come to Penn State. They were recruiting him, but they didn't offer him. They weren't sure they were going to. Brent Pry, the defensive coordinator, told us yesterday, he kept coming to our camp, and he kept running a 4.940. Kept coming back, running a 4.940. And then Coach Fry went to watch him play high school basketball and said he had short area quickness, so competitive. And he came back and told James Franklin, this guy, he'll find a way to play somewhere for us, and he'll be a productive player. And boy, has he been.
Yeah. Well, I think he's better off. They started him out as an inside linebacker. Then because of different things with personnel, they've played him at both defensive end and inside linebacker. He's actually better suited to be a defensive end. He's got pretty good pass rushing skills, but he's a physical guy. And sometimes when he's out in space, some of his weaknesses to his game or lack of speed can show up. But when he's a defensive end, he gets pretty locked in.
Grateful to Jeff Root, who's the coach at Mercyhurst. Taken in by a host family. Jack Tuttle throws high off the hands of Peyton Hendershot. And with COVID, we talked about the impact of that. From Canada, he went home right after the pandemic hit, and he wound up getting stuck in Canada for many months. Said it was actually a blessing because he got more time with his family. As we mentioned, he's the youngest of 8, Ottawa's own, and he took advantage of the time at home to work out at a local gym, and one of his workout partners is Claude Giroux, terrific player for the Philadelphia Flyers. They've become friends, workout buddies. Hendershot the catch, first down.
Is that another NHL promo right there?
It always comes right back to the NHL. We mentioned that it starts a week from Tuesday night, 7:30 Eastern. The Penguins and the Lightning. Tuttle throws deep, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Brown. Kind of looked like a Sandlot return there, trying to juke out some of his friends. Jair Brown, freshman from Trenton, New Jersey, out of Lackawanna Junior College, with his 3rd interception of the season.
Not sure where Tuttle was throwing that football. At first, I thought it got tipped based on where the ball went. He had a receiver running down the sideline. He has another one towards the middle of the field, and he kind of threw the ball in between both of them.
After your interception, personal foul, defense number 0, half the distance to the goal, first down Penn State, timeout.
Jonathan Sutherland, one of their team captains. For the 3rd year, in fact, he and Sean Clifford, the only 3-time captains in Penn State football history. Yeah, hard to tell where that one was going. Tom Allen wanted to know. He probably didn't like the explanation. Coach Molly McGrath back in State College, Pennsylvania. Penn State leading 24-0. Taquan Roberson, the backup quarterback, is in. He handed it off to John Lovett, who gets 10. There's Roberson, redshirt freshman from Orange, New Jersey. He's seen some action this year. He's thrown 7 passes, 4 completions through his first career touchdown pass earlier this season, 23-yarder to Theo Johnson. That was against Ball State. So Clifford, likely done for the night, 17 for 33 for 178 yards, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. He also ran 10 times for 58 yards. A lot of times ran effectively to avoid the rush. Lovett again. He gets about 13 more, and they're out across the 25-yard line.
That should push Penn State over the 200-yard mark rushing for the game, 206. Again, pretty modest numbers for Sean Clifford, but he'll take it because he knows going into play Iowa next week, they need to be balanced. That is an outstanding Iowa defense. You cannot be one-dimensional and have a chance to beat the Hawkeyes. Offensive coordinator Mike Yursich has got to be pleased with the balance that they've been able to create tonight, and how good at times the running game is looking. They've had more explosive plays in the run game tonight than they have in the pass game.
Love it again. We mentioned we get to talk every week to the coaches, and we're always intrigued by their backgrounds. And Mike Yursich has an interesting one. Mentioned small school college player at California of Pennsylvania. and started his career after he was a GA for Jerry DiNardo at Indiana, by the way. He was at Edinburgh. Then he went to Shippensburg as the offensive coordinator. They had tremendous success. They led Division II in yards per game in 2012 at 529. He had applied for a Division II head coaching job, didn't get it. He said, my goal was just, I hope someday I got a head coaching job in D2 so I could buy a house. So he's out of the office for a couple of days at the end of that season, and one of his fellow coaches, there's Lovett, calls and tells him Oklahoma State called today and they want some of our film of our offense. And he thought, oh, that's interesting. We had a good year.
Yeah.
And then he said the next day they said, Oklahoma State called again. We think it's Coach Gundy, the head coach, and we think he wants to talk to you. So he said, now I really got my attention. It turns out it was Mike Gundy. They met in Hagerstown, Maryland, because Coach Gundy didn't want people to know he was looking for a new offensive coordinator. How about what he told? He said, I was so embarrassed by my car, I used a state car. To go drive to Hagerstown, Maryland for the interview. He wound up getting offered the job. He was making $45,000 a year at Shippensburg. He said, Coach Gundy called and said, okay, you want the job? Yes, I do, sir. Okay, it's yours. $400,000 for 2 years. He said, great, I'm coming. He hangs up.
So he wanted to hang up before he changed his mind.
Yeah,
right?
He hung up. He called his brother. His brother said, I'm going to Oklahoma State. He said, what's the deal? Well, $400 for 2 years. He said, is that $400,000 a year for 2 years or $400 total for 2 years? He said, I don't know and I don't care. I'm just going.
Right.
And,
well, he's been on a fast track ever since then. You know, I mean, he had success with Mike Gundy. You know, that offense Oklahoma State has had over the last several years has been as good as anybody. And then, you know, getting to work with Ryan Day and getting to work with Tom Herman at Texas. I mean, he's been around some good coaches.
Freifogel back for the stout punt. Yeah, he's kind of on a tour here. You know, 6 years at Oklahoma State, that's a long time in one spot for an assistant coach. But as you said, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, each of the last 3 years, he's kind of on the tour of the great college football programs of all time.
Well, and, you know, he's well respected now. I mean, people know he's got a good offensive mind. I like what he's doing with this team. And again, I think the improvement we've seen in the running game tonight bodes really well for Penn State going forward. They've got a solid defense. That defense is going to keep them in every game they play. They've got the weapons on the outside to throw the football, but they're only going to be as good as that balance offensively in their running game is. And tonight, they took a big step forward.
So he asked Mike Gersich, how do you think Mike Gundy found you? He said, well, I think first he looked at stats, and then obviously he called and asked for the film. But you have to give Mike Gundy credit. It kind of reminds me of when Mike Bellotti hired a coach away from the University of New Hampshire by the name of Chip Kelly.
Yeah, that's right.
There are a lot of great coaches all over football at all different levels of football. And credit to Mike Gundy for finding Mike Gersich and giving him that opportunity.
Well, and I think also that's kind of why Mike told us that they met in Hagerstown, was because, you know, Mike Gundy, he couldn't really let Oklahoma State people know he was looking at a Division II offensive coordinator, even though he knows football's football, right? Coaches are coaches. It's still the perception is that you got to go to a certain level to get a certain level coach, and that's definitely not always the case. There's great coaches everywhere that
sure are.
Know how to coach ball.
So Indiana, unless they can score here in the final 35 seconds, they're going to be shut out for the first time since 2000. 246 games since the last time they'd been shut out. That was by Michigan, 58-0 in the 2000 season. And what a transformation. We mentioned Penn State a year ago to this year. First 5 games of last season when they were 0-5, they gave up a total of 180 points. First 5 games of this season, they've given up 60 points. And they're about to be 5-0 on their way to Iowa for a massive showdown against the very talented Hawkeyes. That's Chris Childers, former walk-on for Indiana, and they will be shut out. And now 1-65 all time is Indiana against top 5 teams. Jahan Dotson, his usual good night. 8 catches, 84 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Penn State shuts out Indiana. The final score is 24-0. For Molly McGrath, Todd Blackledge, our great crew led by Josh Hoffman and Scott Johnson. Sean McDonough saying good night from Happy Valley.